tonight. Saskatoon's police chief fires 3 of his officers who were previously suspended.
2 constables and 1 special constable.
RCMP raid a controversial cult compound in southwestern Saskatchewan, resulting in multiple arrests. And these sunflowers sprouted naturally on a Saskatoon street, but the city says they have to go.
This is CBC Saskatchewan News.
It is Wednesday, September 3rd, and the CBC Saskatchewan News starts right now. I'm Ethan Williams. Thank you for joining us. We begin with a significant development in a story CBC News first broke last week. A year-long investigation has led to 3 Saskatoon police officers losing their jobs. Dan Zakreski has our top story.
Challenging.
That's Chief Cameron McBride's description of the past year. It began with 5 of his officers being suspended and ended Wednesday with 3 of them being fired.
We're only releasing that the members were 2 constables and 1 special constable. We're not releasing their identity or where they were working at the time. 2
of the 5 suspended officers returned to work in April. McBride said the outside investigation by the province's Serious Incident Response Team, or CERT, is still ongoing. McBride says the officers were fired because of an incident last fall at a house party, but he wouldn't say what it was. Now, CBC reported last week that the incident CERT is looking at involved allegations of a member of the tactical team assaulting a junior female officer. That led to an investigation around whether an outlaw biker had been at the party. Now, we asked McBride today whether he wanted to correct anything in the CBC story. He did not. McBride did not say the officers were fired because of their relationship with the biker, but he did say the police service has since strengthened its policy on who cops can hang out with.
We have introduced policy that is part of our conflict of interest policy. That policy does include investigating circumstances where a relationship to someone is deemed to be undesirable for the organization, that being it poses a risk to the member or to the organization.
McBride said 2 of the officers were fired Wednesday morning. The 3rd was fired at the end of July. He said that officer is appealing the dismissal. Dan Zakreski, CBC News, Saskatoon.
The provincial opposition is accusing the Saskatchewan government of mismanaging Crown Corporation finances. It comes as SaskPower's latest budget update shows a $136 million net loss in this year's first quarter. SaskPower says revenue is down partly because the province stopped collecting the federal carbon tax. It also recorded $83 million more in expenses. The latest provincial budget projected a profit of $126 million for the Crown Corporation, but the NDP says SaskPower will likely stay in the red.
If this was a good news Q1 report, you bet we would have seen some attention paid to it. But instead, it was quietly released last week because the government of Saskatchewan, the Sask Party, is hoping that people are not paying attention to the fact that yet again, they have managed SaskPower into a historic position of loss.
SaskPower says ending the federal consumer carbon tax in April slashed electricity sales by $59 million. In a statement, the province says SaskPower offers affordable power and stable rates, and it's still lobbying Ottawa to end the industrial carbon tax. People in Regina and Moose Jaw are being asked to conserve water. It comes after the Buffalo Pound water treatment plant, which serves both cities, was hit by a brief power outage Tuesday night. Officials say the plant was taken offline while restarting because of a mechanical issue. Regina's Director of Water, Waste and Environment says you might see some discoloration in tap water as a result, but it is still safe to drink.
So the City of Regina has emergency water wells that can supply about a third of our drinking water, and then we have additional water reservoirs that supply water to residents. We are implementing these voluntary measures now to ensure that we continue to have enough supply for residents to drink, as well as for fire flows, et cetera, for our fire hydrants.
Officials expect the plant to be down for at least 24 hours. In the meantime, if you live in Regina or Moose Jaw, you're being asked to avoid unnecessary water use, such as watering your lawn or taking a long shower. The city is also cutting down on its water use by not washing its vehicles and not doing any street sweeping or water main flushing. Well, kids across the province are back in school this week, but for kids in Denair Beach, the start of this school year feels a bit different. Some are returning to class after losing their homes in the devastating wildfire that tore through the community a few months ago. Jeremy Warren has that story.
3, 2, 1, go!
The Kindle family is trying to get life back to normal in their lakeside community, but going back to school is challenging after a wildfire destroyed their home.
And it does look like a war zone. So this is our house now.
They were staying in Saskatoon after the evacuation, but now live in Creighton in a camper parked at her parents' rental home. The oldest boy is going into his final year of pre-kindergarten in Creighton.
Especially in a small town where you go to school with the same kids from pre-kindergarten to grade 12, it's confusing if you're moving around because all those kids are always together. You know what I mean? He knows everybody in his class. So he's really looking forward to getting to see everybody, and hopefully we can stay because he'll be pretty upset if I have to pull him out. But I don't know what else to do.
Almost 200 students from the Denair Beach area went to school in nearby Creighton last year. That includes the Peter Ballantyne Cree Nation community in the Northern Village. Creighton Community School says it brought in extra counselors for the start of the school year and offered teachers and staff trauma-informed training to help students affected by wildfire.
Every child's different, so some students are going to want that support right away when they come in the doors. Other students are going to maybe want to just go to class and kind of have a little bit of the regular routine, I guess, or normalcy, as much as you can say it after such a traumatic summer. They just want to go back to school.
Creighton School will know in a few weeks how many students from Denair Beach aren't returning. Kindle says that, like her, a lot of displaced families are still not sure where they will end up for the winter. Some are waiting on insurance claims and contractor timelines for rebuilding. It's a race against the first snowfall. Jeremy Warren, CBC News, Saskatoon.
A tense scene in southwestern Saskatchewan Wednesday morning. RCMP raided an abandoned school building in Richmound and arrested numerous people, including Romana Didalo. She's the woman who calls herself the Queen of Canada. Alexander Kwan has the latest.
Leave the phone down. You're under arrest.
All right.
The RCMP arrest of the woman who calls herself the Queen of Canada, captured by her own phone during a live stream.
There you go.
Down on the ground, please.
Romana Didalo and 15 others were taken into custody after a raid involving some 30 police cars, 2 tactical vehicles, drones, and a pair of SWAT units.
The next phase of the investigation is now in its early stages. Investigators are still in the process of searching the building, collecting evidence, and interviewing those arrested.
Police say the operation was sparked by reports of an individual with a firearm. They say they seized 4 replica handguns. For 2 years, Didalo and her followers have lived in a former school in the village of Richmound, population just over 100, 365 kilometers west of Regina. In July, the village office closed its doors to the public outside prearranged appointments due to harassment and intimidation of staff.
It's so great that we have finally gotten some movement. It's been a lot of the community members are very, very frustrated.
Saskatchewan isn't their first home. She and her followers have moved from Atlantic Canada to BC, and in Peterborough, Ontario, they once tried to arrest some police officers. The group is on the radar of some who monitor cults.
So she tells them that she is the ultimate authority, that she is the ruler under natural law. She is effectively the supreme ruler of all the land. She tells them they don't have to pay taxes.
The group is tied to the QAnon movement, believing Canada's laws do not apply to them, and has expressed violent anti-vaccination messages. RCMP in Saskatchewan say they have 24 hours after an arrest to lay charges. In the meantime, provincial agencies are conducting their own investigations, which could rule that the building is uninhabitable. Alexander Kwan, CBC News, Regina.
The city of Saskatoon is removing a set of bike lanes from its downtown core. These bike lanes on 23rd Street between Idlewild Drive and Spadina Crescent are being taken out. The lanes were part of a pilot project launched a decade ago to bring protected bike lanes to the downtown. They were only supposed to be there for 2 years, and back in June, council voted to finally remove them. But the lanes could be back, as they'll be considered as part of the 23rd Street Greenway. Well, the garden in the Legislative Grounds is still in bloom with lots of bright colors, but other gardens across the province likely took a bit of a hit after some early season frost last night. Temperatures in some places actually dipped below freezing, and there still may be some more chilly weather on the way. Helena has the details in her forecast after the break. Stay with us. A Saskatoon woman says some unlikely sunflowers that sprung up in her yard have delighted her Rosewood neighborhood this year. But she's now forced to remove them because the city says they have to go. Katie Swires has that story.
So pretty, hey?
These sunflowers grew from the unlikeliest of places.
Does it smell pretty?
A tiny sliver of dirt between the sidewalk and curb in front of Claire Ernawine Shoughton's home. They sprung up naturally this spring from seeds carried by the wind or birds from the flowers in her yard.
The bees really like them and the birds eat the seeds in the fall.
But they're a short-lived display because the city of Saskatoon says they can't be there.
Okay, this is a bylaw notice to the owner or occupant.
The city says the flowers interfere with sidewalk use, and if she hadn't cut them down before a reinspection this week, she would have had to pay a fine.
I put a notice out to my neighbors. I said, I've got this bylaw notification and the sunflowers have to be removed. And if you want to come and pick some for bouquets or whatever, come and help yourself. And they were all very upset about it as well because they enjoy the sunflowers. I think it's a very unique feature of our neighborhood.
The city says it's the responsibility of homeowners to keep the sidewalk by their homes clear. While the flowers may seem harmless, large plants can also block the view of drivers from the road, and bylaw infraction notices are driven by complaints.
Our inspectors aren't going out looking for sunflowers in the cracks, but there certainly would have been someone in the neighborhood to reach out and make a complaint that they were having trouble navigating this stretch.
While she may not be able to keep her colorful display, Ernawine Shoughton hopes the flowers thriving in such an unlikely place reminds people that while things can be tough, you can grow and be happy, just like a sunflower. Katie Swires, CBC News, Regina.
A man from Prince Albert is currently recovering from an incredibly rare tick-borne illness. Rocky Mountain spotted fever is a bacterial disease that can cause organ failure and even death. Don Haworth caught it while staying at his cabin in Emma Lake. He first had flu-like symptoms, then developed a spotted full-body rash. He was taken to hospital, where it took 3 doctors to make the diagnosis.
Once we got started on the doxycycline, it was kind of a quicker recovery, I would say. He started to get his appetite back. He started to gain some weight that he had lost, and he was back outside doing everything that he does, mowing lawns, golfing.
There's been quite a bit of testing and actually finding the organism called Rickettsia rickettsii in ticks is quite rare. Like, for whatever reason, and we're grateful for it, it is quite rare. There are sporadic cases in people and animals occasionally.
Jenkins reminds people who are often in tick habitats to check themselves regularly and check which species they may have encountered. And weather specialist Helena Mahalik joins us now. I thought Tuesday was chilly, Helena, until I walked out the door Wednesday morning, and it was there was definitely a fall crispness to the air.
I know, Ethan, as I was walking to work, I did see some leaves falling on the ground. Fall is here, and with it, some fall-like conditions. Let's take a look at what's going on in the province Wednesday night. Wednesday was a mainly calm day weather-wise. We did have a lot of cloud coverage in the province, and starting Wednesday evening, we are seeing some showers starting in northern Saskatchewan, and those showers are going to last us for about 2 days here. A low-pressure system is going to be coming in, and areas along the Manitoba border are going to get a good amount of moisture starting Thursday. So places along the border, as well as some central areas like Saskatoon and Prince Albert, going to get some scattered showers. The heaviest of that rain is going to be Thursday, but Friday, again along the Manitoba border, we are seeing some scattered showers for the southeast corner and up into the northern grain belt as well. But just in time for the weekend, we're seeing that system roll out, bringing us mainly clear skies for Saturday. But we do have a good 2 days of rainfall there. So in south and central Saskatchewan, not getting too much, like our major cities, Saskatoon and Regina, only about 5 millimeters. But closer to the Manitoba border, places like Wynyard could get over 15 millimeters of rainfall. It's really northern Saskatchewan where we're going to see the brunt of that moisture. Again, areas closer to Manitoba border are going to get anywhere from 10 to 25 millimeters of rain. This model shows that the south end could even get upwards of 25 millimeters. Areas closer to the Alberta border really not getting that much, less than 5 millimeters of rainfall there. Wednesday evening, we are seeing some winds pick up in the north where those showers are, but overnight and into Thursday morning is when we're really seeing the winds pick up, especially in southern Saskatchewan. Northerly winds with gusts up to 70 kilometers an hour. The rest of the province not too far behind, with gusts up to 60 kilometers an hour. Those winds are dying down into Friday, but with the direction of that wind flow, by Thursday morning, we are seeing that it's favorable in pushing some of that smoke down towards Saskatoon and Regina. But with that rainfall, we're seeing that the smoke isn't really going to last long. So we're not going to have smoky conditions for that long, thanks to that rainfall. So Ethan, we do have some cooler conditions and some rain, but we really could use it in the province.
Yeah, we sure can. Okay, Helena, thank you.
Thanks, Ethan.
Well, Starbucks is the latest big coffee chain trying to appeal to consumers looking for more protein in their diet. Anis Haydari looks at what's driving demand and why not everyone is convinced it's a positive change.
Whether it's Starbucks or Tim Hortons, new protein drinks are grabbing customers' interest.
If I'm getting a coffee anyways, I would always go for the protein choice, always.
Oh my god, this is like the best thing ever, because 20 grams of protein's a lot, especially in a latte.
I think they're probably good, but they're probably like upcharging for protein lattes.
At Tim Hortons, that high protein drink does cost more. At Starbucks, they won't say yet.
They're going to get potentially some higher margin.
This retail expert says it's a way to make more money.
I think marketers have done their research. They've realized there's a big market there. Supposedly the market's about a $2 billion market, and it's growing about 7% a year. So, you know, there is a big demand for it.
That demand means protein is no longer stuck in the meat aisle. And it's not just in new coffees. Some milks have higher protein. Pasta too, with high protein, even cereal.
What people actually need and what people think they need.
But this dietitian and researcher says social media has people overestimating what they need, whether it's to gain muscle or lose weight.
We see the food companies creating products and responding to consumer demand for protein. But at the source of the consumer demand is often a lot of misinformation.
Can I get one of the protein ice? That consumer demand could also be driven by trends, which can change.
We looked 20 years ago when it was all about low carbs, and this is a bit of an evolution of that, a bit of an evolution of keto. It's maybe protein is just the next in the evolution of the healthy eating trend.
Health-wise, that extra protein may not hurt or help.
For most people, it's benign. Whether you're going to drink a latte that has 28 grams of protein, or you're going to drink a latte that has 8 grams of protein, that's not going to have a huge overall impact on your health.
So a little extra protein in your coffee might only mean a little less money in your wallet. Anis Haydari, CBC News, Calgary.
It's Saturday Night Live.
Well, we all know that music, and that familiar show opening will soon, once again, include a Canadian comic. Veronica Slowakowska hails from Barrie, Ontario, and and she is joining the cast of Saturday Night Live for its 51st season. She is one of 5 new additions. Slowakowska is known for her comedy on Instagram and TikTok. We'll be watching for her. Stay tuned. We're back with more news after the break. Welcome back. The Saskatchewan Roughriders are back on the practice field after winning a thrilling Labor Day Classic. The focus for the green and white now shifts, of course, to the Banjo Bowl in Winnipeg. The Riders have only won this rematch against the Blue Bombers once in the last decade, and that was back in 2018. With a rowdy crowd expected, Riders quarterback Trevor Harris says preparation on a short week is key.
Standings are on the lines, points in the win column are on the line. Everybody's trying their best, and so we know they're going to come out guns blazing. Though they're going to come out swinging, and so are we. Though it's going to be one of those ones where these back-to-back fun ones are quite fun. In the chess match with the game within the game of their slight adjustments, our adjustments, and how we kind of approach the week and how we kind of go into the game is kind of just like the fun things about these.
The Riders came out of Sunday's game relatively healthy. There were no lineup changes at practice on Wednesday. Kickoff in Winnipeg is set for 2 o'clock Saturday afternoon. And Helena, I think I speak for all the gardeners out there when we say, please, no more frost in the forecast for now.
Well, Ethan, and for all the gardeners, there still is a slight chance of some frost. Let's take a look at the forecast for the city of Regina. Thursday and Friday are definitely the days you're going to want to check on your plants, with overnight lows closer to freezing and our daytime highs in the mid-teens. We're going to have some breezy days these days as well. Into Saturday, we're still seeing temperatures in the high teens, but into Sunday, we're breaking back into the 20-degree mark, and into next week, our overnight lows are in the double digits and our daytime highs in the mid-20s. The sun is going to be out, and a chance of rainfall into next week as well. In Saskatoon, we're seeing the sun out as well. Temperatures in the mid-teens with some breezy days, and our overnight lows again close to freezing. But into Saturday, we're seeing our temperatures slowly climb up, and by Sunday, we're breaking into the 20-degree mark with overnight lows in the double digits. We're going to be hovering in the mid-20s all through next week with a chance of rainfall as well. So, Ethan, temperatures are definitely getting back to summer-like by next week at least.
Yeah, definitely short-term pain for long-term gain. I love that. Helena, thank you.
Thanks, Ethan.
And that is our news for this Wednesday. For more news anytime, you can always head to cbc.ca/sask or subscribe to the CBC Saskatchewan YouTube channel, and you can download the CBC News app on your smartphone or tablet. Thanks so much for watching.